Dozens of protesters descended on San Bernardino National Forest in Southern California earlier this month to oppose Nestle's water extraction operations. According to the company, Nestle collected 32 million gallons of water in 2016 for its Arrowhead bottled water, an amount that activists say is contributing to the severe lack of groundwater in the area in conjunction with an ongoing drought in that state. Here to discuss this story and the legal actions that have been taken against Nestle is Farron Cousins, executive editor of the Trial Lawyer magazine. Farron, you know, it's amazing. The corporate media acts like this is a news story. This is not a news story. Nestle has been doing this all over the world, raping and pillaging water supplies all over the world. What is your take on this?
Well, they absolutely have. You know, in the case of this California pipeline, water pipeline that they have, this has been in operation since 1929. But we do know in recent years, the last 20 years, I suppose, they've been going to South America, privatizing these water areas in places like Bolivia. They've been doing it in Mexico. They're going north. They're doing it in Ontario, Canada. They're doing this all over the globe, usually in places where they can easily manipulate the government, pay them off, privatize the water, and then, in many cases, sell it back to the same villagers or locals.
Well, I mean, the point is, this is the routines that we're seeing with corporate America right now. Start in a place like Mexico, start in South America, go to a third world country, you succeed there, no pushback. You buy your way through the politics, the media doesn't really care. And now what we have to understand is we're being treated like a third world country. That's how Nestle regards us right now. They're here doing this as if we're a third world country. Now, start by outlining the issues with Nestle's permit to extract water. And by the way, what does the company pay for that water?
Technically, they pay $0. They do pay about $600 or so every year for a permit renewal fee. But the permit actually hasn't been renewed since 1988. That's when the current permit that they're operating under expired, 1988. And so they're going into the forest, they're sucking up all the water, not paying anything for the actual water. And this is a state that, as we know, has been plagued by drought that's finally starting to resolve. But it's been in drought for about 4 or 5 years, very severe drought. And Nestle comes in, sucks up all the water, is once again depleting the water that's finally starting to get built back in the forest and selling it back to consumers at an inflated price.
And government allows them to do it.
Yep.
Regulators allow them to do it.
Yep.
Corporate media allows them to do it.
Absolutely.
Just look the other way. What I do see in this case is you have, in 2015, 3 environmental groups sued Nestle, and they actually are making pretty good headway there. What is your take on that?
Well, unfortunately, the end result there was that the judge said, look, Nestle did come back to the state, tried to renew their permit, because that's what these groups are saying. Look, this permit expired in 1988. How are they still pulling water out today? Well, the judge came back and said, look, it turns out Nestle actually reapplied for the permit, but the state just never got back to them. So, you know, legally, they're still operating under a permit that expired, 2 decades before almost. But the judge says, well, they tried. State didn't talk to them. So, Nestle, you win. But the state then says, well, look, we've been burdened with mudslides, wildfires, droughts, budget cuts. There's not enough hours in the day to do it.
Well, and I got to tell you something. This story's going to get a lot worse as water shortages continue.